Hey students, this is Mr. Eckert, and we're going to go through part 2 of Target 1, which is characteristics of all living things, characteristics and themes. So we covered the characteristics in the first video broadcast, and this is going to be more focused on the themes. So your book lists 7 different themes of life, and again, you can look at different books and they will, or different sources for biology, and they'll list a different number of themes. There's no uh, you know, there's nothing special about this number 7. There some authors will say there's more than 7, some will say there's less. But these kind of line up with those characteristics that we talked about in the first video. So one that we haven't discussed is homeostasis. And homeostasis, as you can see here, is how all living things will maintain an internal environment that really doesn't change all that much, even when there's changes in the external environment. So there's all different kinds of examples of this. We talked a little bit in the first video about how reptiles, as a response to a stimulus, will sun themselves to raise their metabolism. And that is another example of homeostasis as well, because they're trying to maintain a range of temperatures by basking in the sun, and then as they get too hot, they'll move into shade to keep a range, even though they're considered cold-blooded animals and don't maintain a constant temperature like you and I do. If you think about your blood sugar levels in your blood, though your body and my body maintains a range of blood sugar levels that it would regard as being normal. When your blood sugar gets too low, it sends signals to your brain telling you or I we need to eat something to boost those blood sugar levels. And when they get too high, of course, many of you know that our body releases insulin to bring those blood sugar levels back down. So those are both examples of homeostasis. Heredity is another theme of life, and heredity, of course, has to do with genetics and the passing on of DNA and chromosomes to offspring, which, of course, is why you look so much like your parents and your grandparents. A lot of people, including adults, will include the or mis um, misjudge this animal as kind of a cross between a zebra, some kind of antelope, and of course, some of you know that this is called an okapi, and it's not. Actually, they're more related to giraffes than they are related to zebras. So it's not a cross between two animals. It's its own species. Interdependence is another characteristic of all living things. So all living things are dependent on other living things for survival. There's some different examples of this. Symbiosis is a good term, which talks about, it describes the situation when two or more species are interdependent on each other. They're using each other for various factors or needs that they have in order to survive and to keep going. So some different examples of interdependence. So one would be parasitism, when one species benefits and the other is harmed, and you can see in the top photograph that's actually a human tapeworm that they're um, holding between Oprah and Dr. Oz there. So that would obviously be an example of a parasite. Even something as simple as a mosquito is a type of parasite. Commensalism, that's when one species benefits and the other is not harmed nor benefited. And so you can see in the middle photograph the snout of it looks like a humpback whale, and it's got barnacles that grow on its body, and those don't harm the whale. The whale gets no benefit from the barnacles, nor does it get harmed by them. So that would be an example of commensalism. And then mutualism is describes when both species in the relationship benefit from the relationship. They're helping each other. And of course, bees and butterflies, pollinators will get pollen and nectar from flowers, and then of course the flower is benefited by having their eggs fertilized by the pollen and growing into seeds, so it helps with their reproduction. So that's it for the second part of this topic and target. If you, again, have any questions at all, please make sure you ask in class.